All right, got in a few things from HYVE Technologies. Got the new trigger, their Monarch trigger. This is all going on my Glock 26 Gen 5. So, got the trigger, extended mag release, and got one of their magazine +2, I think this is supposed to be +2, base plates. So what I want to do first is document. I'm not gonna show on video all the installation. There's some other people doing that. If you wanna watch an instructional on the installation, that's fine. Somewhere else. But what I do want to do is document the trigger, the stock trigger on the Glock 26 Gen 5, and then document the HYVE Monarch trigger afterwards. So, weapon is clear. Here we go. A lot of creep, a lot of mush. And there's a very, to me, it's a very spongy wall. It's not a hard wall. Very spongy wall. More creep, and then break. Wall. More creep and break. Let's see if I can get this even closer here. So nothing. Wall and break. It's just the trigger on this is just, it's a little spongy. Well, not a little spongy, it's spongy. It's spongy, there's not a super defined wall. I prefer that, and there's not a super short, crisp break. And then the reset is not a very short reset. So there you have it. There's the stock 26 Gen 5 trigger. And I'm gonna go ahead and get these installed. I'll fire the camera back up. All right, I'm back. So, here's what she looks like, all put together. Pretty slick looking setup, I think. I really like, I'm a big fan of anodized blue anything anyway, so I like that. The grip extension feels really good. I really like how closely it fits. I mean, the fitment is really good. With the mag, let's do this. Nothing in there. Nothing in there. All right. So, with the mag extension, you basically just, the one thing that I didn't like about it, you do have to cut off the stock Glock ears. You know, the magazines have the little tabs. You do have to cut those off. That was the hardest part of this. Otherwise, it was no different than taking your magazine apart to clean it. I do like the set screw. That way, you know, a little bit more peace of mind. Seems like a really sturdy piece. I'll get some range time on this. We'll see how it works. The extended mag release. Let's see if I can get a shot of it where you can see exactly how extended it is. I did nick it just a tiny little bit putting it in. That wasn't too bad either. It was a fairly easy install. If you've ever stripped your Glock all the way down, you already know. But yeah, so that's it. That's how extended it is. Feels really good. I really like that I don't have to change my grip to get to it now. Before I used to have to kind of flip it sideways a little bit. So I really like that I can get to it without that. But the reason why you're probably watching this video is for the trigger. The trigger was a bit interesting to install. The install itself, actually placing it in the gun, super easy. No different than stripping it down. So that part was super easy. It literally has, here's the stock Glock trigger. It literally has the exact, see if I can get this to focus here. It literally has the exact same bar as the factory trigger. So on one hand, that satisfies me a little bit. Makes me feel like the trigger is going to be safe, which I checked all the drop safety, did all the checks. It's safe, it works. But I thought that it was interesting that they literally used the factory Glock, has the same part number on it even, factory Glock bar. It does look like it's more polished up a little bit, but I do like the Glock triggers are very round, for the Gen 5 anyway, on this 26. They're round. They're nice and round. And this HYVE trigger is very flat. It's very flat. I do like that. It's interesting because I don't like the triggers that are straight, but I do like them flat. To me, it helps pull the trigger straight rearward rather than pulling the gun side to side. Anyway, so trigger pull. Here's the deal. I played around with adjustment on this. When I first dropped it in, it felt smoother than the original trigger, but the pre-travel and the reset was basically the same. I've seen some other videos where some guys, they drop it in and it's set and ready to go. This one was not like that. This one was set for pre-travel and release, basically like a stock trigger. So the pre-travel was much smoother, and the break was a little crisper and a little cleaner. And so then that was cool. But I had to play with the adjustments. I'm not 100% set on where this is at, but for now, this is where I'm going to leave it. I'm going to go to the range and put some time in on it. So, weapons cleared. Here we go. So, trigger safety, how I have it set now, that's the take up. That much take up, break. Reset. Break. So, from the top, wall. Now that take up is much smoother now. The Glock take up the pre-travel was kind of grindy and scratchy feeling. This is super smooth now. The pre-travel is very smooth, and then break. So, I'll have to get some range time in on this before I can say how much I like it or don't like it. I think it's a cool addition. I like that it's adjustable. The trigger pull itself is not really, the overall trigger experience is not really heads and tails above the stock Glock. The trigger weight feels the same. But the kicker for this one is the adjustment, that you can adjust the pre-travel and the reset, and that it's flat faced, even though it's a curved trigger, it's flat faced. To me, those are the important things. I may play around with some different springs and some different connectors. This is my everyday carry, so I don't want to get too crazy on it, but I'm used to a Walther that has a PPQ that has a really wonderful trigger, and I was trying to get this a little bit closer to that, and it is. And with the adjustment, I'll be able to tune in the adjustments a little bit more, but for now, this is where it is. I'm happy. I'm stoked. Yeah, I like this. So grip, and then you can just get right to it. The 26 is a little short for me. My hand holds the magazine in. This is really hard to do around a camera. My hand holds the magazine in, so I do have to loosen my grip, but I don't have to actually shift the gun out of grip. I just loosen it and I can get it. So I like that. There we go. HYVE Technologies, Monarch trigger for the Glock 26 Gen 5. Extended mag release and the extended magazine base plate. Please like and subscribe. If you have any thoughts on this, if you've used one, I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. If you have a trigger that you prefer on your Glock, drop it in the comments below. I'd really love to hear about it and chat with you. I'm stoked to see where this goes, but for now, I'm pretty happy with this. Thanks, y'all. Be sure to check me out on Instagram at Tactical Boomsticks. See you next time.